I've been using Google's gaming service called Stadia since it came out in November. Given that it's been about half a year since it was released, is it worth the price? Hey s'mores, I'm Shannon Morse. Welcome to Morse Code. I do tech reviews and tutorials, so if you are looking for in-depth tech and gadget content, you have come to the right place. If you are new here, subscribe to become a part of this awesome community, and check out my Patreon and Buy Me a Coffee links, which are down below, to see how you can support this channel. Big thanks to my newest s'mores, including on Buy Me a Coffee, Keith, John, and Anonymous, and on Patreon, Gabriel. So I'm calling myself out here. I had originally shot a Stadia review back in early April, and then I uploaded it at the end of the month. In the days following, Stadia broke a ton of news that instantly made the video out of date, like literally the day after. Fortunately for us, it's all positive information. Unfortunately for me, it did not make me look very good. It made me look like I didn't do my research and I had wasted hours and hours of work writing and recording and filming B-roll and filming the actual A-roll that you're watching now and editing and producing that video. But alas, that is what happens sometimes when you only have access to public information and no PR person. So I am sucking it up. I'm rewriting this review with updated information. So for the record, I am recording this the week of June 1st. So if information changes after I post this, that's why. So first off, Stadia is not a controller. It's a service that was released on November 19th of 2019, which just so happens to be the day after my birthday. It allows you to play video games streaming over the internet instead of downloading them locally. It's all in the cloud, so there is no console required. Google does recommend 10 megabits per second for HD or 35 megs for 4K. The controller is basically just Stadia Premier Edition, which includes the controller and a Chromecast Ultra, plus 3 months of Stadia Pro for $129. Additional controllers are $70 each. Now my controller is the early adopter color, but there are 3 options available online, including clearly white, just black, and wasabi. Now Stadia Pro is the paid version of the service, which is $10 per month. I included this as an editor's note previously, but Google did decide to make Pro available for free for 2 months, likely to bring in new subscribers, but also because of the current situation. To quote, anyone who signs up will get 2 free months of Stadia Pro with instant access to Pro games. You can purchase even more games on the store, which will remain yours to play even if you cancel your Stadia Pro subscription. If you are already a paid Stadia Pro subscriber, we won't charge you for the next 2 months. After that, Stadia Pro is $9.99 a month, but you can opt out of your subscription at any time. They also mentioned in the recent update that the offer will change to 1 free month on June 3rd. As an example, I paid for Pro on March 21st, and my next payment is on June 22nd for $9.99. Now, Pro includes 4K HDR game quality, 60 FPS, f.1 surround sound, and a free game library for Pro users. The controller and the Chromecast Ultra are required to play games on TVs, but you can play on other devices with any supported gamepad, a controller, or PC peripherals. Pro users also get discounted games from the Stadia library, alongside the free ones that you can claim every month. Now, Stadia Free, which was originally called Stadia Base, but now it's called Stadia, not confusing at all, is a free service for gaming up to 1080p 60 FPS with stereo sound, so it's just limited by a bit. You can buy games in the Stadia library, but there are no discounts and there's no freebie games. But with that said, anything that you buy during your free trial months of Pro, you get to keep forever in your free Stadia account if you choose not to purchase Pro after the trial ends. So the idea behind Stadia is that you don't have to pay for expensive consoles or hardware to play games in 4K or 1080p. You can stream them from Stadia to your TV through the Chromecast, or you can play on tablet, laptop, or phone. Now, Stadia did have a rocky start. There were lots of features that were not yet available, but they were promised, like Stadia Base. Destiny, which was available on release day, had server servers go down at the same time that Stadia Pro released. I experienced that. It was kind of upsetting. Stadia development was also very quiet, so was it DOA or was it worse impatience now that we are actually seeing releases on a more frequent basis? Well, since launch day, new features have been added that include achievements, Google Assistant functionality for the controllers, Google Assistant button, and Stream Connect. Now this allows you to see your partner screen in real time if you do multiplayer. Introduced recently are the free version, which is just called Stadia now, wireless gaming on the web for supported devices, more Android phone compatibility, and more assistant functionality as well. And just recently, they added the ability to play at 1440p in a Chrome browser, which is pretty awesome. Now, Stadia introduced some new improvements to the store and social sharing in May as well. Some new games were released. Doom 64 was finally released about 2 to 3 months ago. PUBG was made available on Pro as well, and we should expect more games introduced later this year, including Marvel's Avengers, Cyberpunk, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and Watch Dogs Legion. I'm so excited for those games. There's about 60 games currently in the library, not including the deluxe or the special editions, so it's a small library, but recently we have been seeing a lot more games, and hopefully that trend will continue. So does it work? Yes, it does. If you are privileged enough to have decent internet speeds. Like, I used to live in rural US in Missouri, and I did not have fast speeds, so this would have not worked in the middle of where I lived. Even then, streaming games, you could hit a bandwidth cap, especially if using 4K. Like Stadia would be 15.75 gigs per hour for 4K streaming, just as an example. That may vary a little bit. And it would be 9 gigs per hour for 1080p. Again, just an example. So for what it's worth, many ISPs have removed caps during the pandemic, but we will likely see those reincorporated in the next few months. So my experience on the TV, it was flawless. I had no noticeable lag. I had no latency. It looks beautiful, it looks great and crisp, and it sounds great too, especially when I was wearing headphones. I used Guilt as an example, as well as Destiny 2, and I had so much fun playing both of those video games. The controller also lasts a very long time on battery, so it never actually died on me while I was testing it. On the phone, wireless compatibility is now available, even though you see me using a wired connection here that's a little bit older of B-roll. There was no noticeable lag here when I was playing wireless or wired either, which is pretty awesome. And on my Pixelbook Go in the web browser, I did experience some buffering while I was playing Farming Simulator, so there were some issues there. But wireless compatibility is also now available on there too, and it makes it a lot easier to play. So is it worth $10 per month? Well, for me, I would say no, but it is great that Pro is free for a little bit, so if you use the trial to get some discounted games to play, then that's beneficial, but not all games are discounted for Pro, and they only release a few free games with the paid subscription every month, which you may or may not enjoy or like. In fact, there's a few games that even though I claimed, I'm probably never going to play because I have no interest in playing them. I want to see Stadia succeed, and I really hope that it does, so I'm glad that they have made so many updates and so many improvements in just the past several weeks. With that said though, I'm also not going to lie to myself and say that this is great for everyone, because it's not going to be. I am curious to know if these recent updates have enticed you to get Stadia, or if you are still gonna skip it, or if you're just gonna wait way down the road and just see what kind of library they end up having at the end of 2020. Hopefully we can look forward to something in 2020, because this year sucks so far. Comment below. Thank you again so much to my s'mores for subscribing and for watching. I'm Shannon Morse. Thank you so much for watching Morse Code, and I will see you soon. Bye, y'all. Luna? What are you doing? My cat's in the bathroom.